Always be yourself with no malicious intentions. My content is not for everyone. It's not. To the genuine ones with no malicious intentions, I actually hope that you continue to find peace within, regardless to who gave up on you or overlooked you during your journey. You matter and you are worthy. My content is not for everyone. It's not. Loving yourself is not a crime. When someone says that you don't have potential, never stop trying to choose you. Trying was A for effort. The benefit actually paid off when you least expected. The reflection going within. Asking for patience, time, and day, only rush of reality, overcoming pain. We may not pray the same, but God works in mysterious ways. Overcoming that testimony, they would never understand that you was far from a mistake. They disrespected you, threw spoke at you right to left. They wanted you to reject yourself, but God was protecting your mental health. They said at the end of the day you was the problem, but hold on one second, God allowed you to reevaluate. That accountability hits different when it truly goes within. When folks try to discourage you to project a hate crime towards you, lying on your name to disrespect you out loud, or because hold on one second, you wasn't trying to wild out. Standing up for yourself put you in a situation, but losing confidence and stand up for yourself at the end of the day, God made you mentally strong. You ain't had to do your neighbor wrong. They wanted to shortchange you of a blessing. You choosing yourself. You was the gift from God. Miracles happen every single day when you least expect it. Being pointed in the right direction, only to realize that hold on one second. Healing, trauma, and pain was real. From a childhood point of view, going into your adulthood, still being patient with time and day, you was far from mentally ill. They tried to discourage you. Have folks in different tax bracket, energy harvesting off your energy, but couldn't put respect on your name. They wanted to kick you down and see you frown. Didn't matter they tax bracket with their bad habits. Folks, where you took them up like a bad habit, but hold on one second, your mask fell off when it came to lack of self-control, when it came to discipline, you wanted to do an innocent person wrong. Or because of the fact that they actually meant something, hold on one second, going with it, believing in faith, stepping out on a comfort zone, something that bothers your mental health. Hold on one second. How you look at someone like competition because they was willing to choose their best self-vision of themselves. Elevation hits different. Always be yourself with no malicious intentions. And I say that respectfully. I'm not aging respect, and my content is not for everyone. It's not. Loving yourself is not a crime. To the genuine ones, healing trauma and pain is not a race or an overnight process. It's not. And we may not pray the same, but I ain't got hate in my vein. Whether in the storm, they would never understand growth. It was never for likes and views of cloud chasing. How folks try to discourage you only because they want to project fake love at the end of the day. So they act like they gotta play you close when you was never acting, when you was keeping it real. How your mental health, hold on one second, God was fixing your crown. They would never understand time when it comes to elevation, growth, that hits different. I may not make sense to the average person, but I wasn't trying to fit in. I just knew how to respect my neighbor when days when I couldn't see that energy is different. We not the same. How folks be trying to humble you, but you always been humble. Being your authentic self bothers certain folks' mental health, all because they lack the self-control when it comes to discipline. They had to do you wrong because you understood your intuitions. Loving yourself. I love myself not to dim my light. Hold on one second. Don't dim your light, neighbor, 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 neighbor. Don't dim your light, neighbor, 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 neighbor. Hold on one second. That ain't just different. Being authentic. I never knew it was a crime to be yourself. Especially when you ain't trying to hurt yourself, but you're trying to better yourself. Folks put you in competition when you're never competing. Checkmate, thank you God for checking off my blessing. Even shaped over me. Always be yourself with no malicious intention. I say that respectfully. Being your biggest cheerleader. That success hits different. Folks who never understand your intuition, but the right people truly pour into you. It wasn't an excuse, because they wasn't trying to verbally, physically, emotionally abuse you. They respected you days when they couldn't weather their own storm. They wasn't trying to do you wrong because they want you to become your best self-vision of yourself. That energy is different when it comes to growth and maturity, coming from poverty and pain, regardless of where we came from that day. No disrespect, but I'm just saying, neighbor, it wasn't hate within your vein when the right people truly for you. It was never competition because you was never competing. You was never competing. Because you were just trying to become your best self-vision of yourself. The energy is different when you know how to put respect in your neighbor's name. Always be yourself. My content is not for everyone. It's not. They said, Joette, can you corner? You and nobody. They said, Joette, can you corner? You and nobody. Here she go again with this stupid It was a distraction for distraction, but I wasn't trying to distract myself. God allowed me to realize I knew how to react when He realized that, hold on 1 second, I wasn't getting discouraged. They wanted me to be discouraged when they threw chaos spells towards me. They were throwing spoken in a toxic way. Only was the hold on 1 second. God truly healed me. They try to rob me mentally, physically, spiritually, even financially, try to make me homeless at the end of the day. But God said, I got your back. They would never understand growth when it comes to your intuition, standing up for yourself. And I say that respectfully. Folks saying nobody going to hear you when you speaking up for yourself. You ain't have to cause chaos and confusion. Hold on 1 second. Until it's their story. Then they will understand healing is different. Speaking up for yourself, keeping the verb. Didn't matter what community you truly was from. Didn't matter your culture, your religion, your sexual orientation, your disability, or how long you held weight when it came to that community. And I don't mean narcotics. Because respect's a two-way street. It be the train of thought for me. Until it's your mom's, your loved one, your child. At the end of the day, you wouldn't want someone to disrespect your peeps. And I say that respectfully. Now, in the truth of it, only be yourself with no bliss. Don't let nobody discourage you or project fear in you. At the end of the day, they gonna try to run you out of nowhere. Because that self-care hits different. Self-love. Because you would never lose love for yourself at the end of the day when you speak enough for yourself, love. You know, when God was guiding you when it came to that conversation, no, you wasn't wrong for speaking up for yourself. How folks in different tax brackets was able to control the narrative all because of the fact they wanted to kick you down and discourage you, or because you understood confidence, speaking up for yourself. They called you a snitch or weirdo, whatever the case may be. Mentally unstable, but you truly know how to keep it real. It be the train of thought for me. How folks create a hate train. But their healing process wouldn't be the same. Because they wouldn't even know if they coming to go and overcoming that spell when folks was doing them wrong. They would never understand how God was really bringing you balance when it comes to self-control. You ain't have to lose yourself when it came to your health. Only realize that God restored you for better yourself. Happy tears hits different. Elevation was a blessing. I wasn't trying to reject myself. They said I can't sing, but I was just well up with myself. I may not make sense to the average person. Being authentic truly bothers folks' mental health. Regardless if you came from poverty and pain. Never get born a dream choosing yourself. That elevation is different when it comes to change. You wasn't running from your past, taking accountability for your actions. Even when folks threaten your life, saying nobody going to hear you at the end of the day. Never get discouraged, and I say that respectfully, because whether in that storm, they will never understand how God brought you balance when it comes to overcoming that pain that day that they try to project on you. And you was far from a mental case. I'm not your genuine respect. My content is not for everyone. It's not. Loving yourself is not a crime, and I say that respectfully. I love to talk about love. Now, in the sake of it, I love to talk about love. Because love is real. Love is one of a kind with the right one actually for you. You know, true love is not comfortable. That's what they said that day. When someone tried to humble you. Only to realize you was walking the wrong direction. Only for God to regroup you. To show you that you was worthy. Someone pouring into you. Because true love wasn't going to fumble you, let alone humble you. True love was going to be patient with you, let alone hold on 1 second, not ruin your reputation. The energy is different, because true love wasn't supposed to hurt. But someone knew how to maintain your smile, not to see you down, let alone see you frown. You know, fix your crown, hold on 1 second. Just because you came from a household didn't show love. It's certain folks that actually know how to show love. You know, love has changed. The energy is different. If we can get lost in your words, the love of your life is rooting you wrong, love. Love is real, love is one of a kind. With the right one truly for you. No, you haven't changed on me, goddamn. My cousin, everybody, that's okay. Love is real, love is one of a kind with the right one actually for you. Someone sees you. Someone has you. Someone respects you. Someone didn't have to play with spoke to get your time and day. They ain't dibble and dabble with spoke even on their worst day. Someone actually didn't have to wear a mask and mislead you with pain. Someone truly showed you that true love was a competition. Who would have knew? Someone that have hidden agendas to truly love you. I may not make sense to the average person, but they say fairy tales not real, but someone could truly walk into your life to truly keep it real. You know how when you first met somebody, it's got better with time when it comes to the future, only because you want to rewind. You know when someone gets sick, it's like, damn. You know when someone gets sick, and you have to distance yourself, like, hold on 1 second, a long distance relationship, get better, babe, type energy. Only to realize they're going to get better in due time. Only to realize you want to just spend time. I may not make sense to the average person, but true love is not complication. True love is not complicated. Even when you get lost in your words to grow old with somebody. The energy is different. You want someone to still be patient, loving you still. Only to us, hold on 1 second, who would have knew that time would truly heal? You know that open boom, showing your past and living your reality, how someone wasn't trying to confuse you when it come to your future, who would have knew the love of your life, walking into your life, not the damn your life. I may not make sense to the average person, but that's okay.
Love is real, love is one of a kind, with the right one truly for you.
Wow, it wasn't a mistake falling in love, only for someone to truly be on the same page with you, love. It wasn't toxic love. It was healing love. Because it was boundaries when it comes to maturing. A reflection, hold on 1 second, acting your body weight, not your shoe size. But hold on 1 second, you still had your childlike energy. You know, being goofy. To the right person at the end of it that was laughing at your corny jokes. It wasn't a mistake when you fell in love with the right person. Someone wasn't misleading you with pain, hold on 1 second, pointing in the wrong direction. Because someone always wanted you to be your authentic self. The person they fell in love with, who would have knew how God allowed you to see. You two chose each other to understand your point of view. How true love was real, true love was one of a kind. And common sense actually made time feel that it was worthy of coming out your comfort zone, only for someone to truly love you the first time around the right time. Someone truly love you right the first time around. Because it does happen. Someone can truly walk into your life and love you right the first time around. And it's just different. What's up, butterfly? Not only did you have a swag to you, you was street smart, book smart. You had times in your journey they try to manipulate you. They even try to shortchange you truly loving you. A vision that, hold on 1 second, it almost made you feel off balance. But who would have knew God restored you? They would never understand unconditional love going within, not getting distracted because someone wanted you to react that day. They wanted you to wild out, throwing spirit at you in a toxic way. But who would have known God was protecting your mental health? Only the was that God didn't discourage you. God was never for sale when you was keeping it real. They tried to paint you out to be somebody you truly wasn't, only because you was truly keeping it real. They projected a hate crime towards you. They even created a hate train towards you. Everybody's walk of life ain't the same when it comes to healing trauma pain. You ever poured into somebody to shortchange you? Only the rest of hold on 1 second, God still showed up for you? You know, because God allowed you to pour into you. Show you that you was worthy while you understood your faith today. You know, that last testimony, you almost overlooked you when it came to your mistakes. But you understood accountability. That energy is different. It was never for likes and views or clout chasing or fame. Because that intuition going within, they would never understand your reflection, how you stand before yourself today.
I love myself now that in my light. I love myself now that in my light. I love myself now that in my light. I'm thankful I didn't lose me.
I'm thankful I didn't lose me. Looking for a protector right by your side. They would never understand how God didn't tell a lie. The devil was knocking. The enemy was trying to distract you. But God was showing you your point of view that you was worthy. You can overcome any obstacles when it comes to your strength. It was never for likes and views. Understand your intuition. Be patient with your time and day. Here, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And just because moments started somewhere, they would never understand how you truly heal when you was far from weird. Being authentic, you tied your shoe differently. Maintaining a smile truly bothers their peace at the end of the day. They truly didn't have because they truly lack their confidence. They be the train of thought for me. Being authentic, you truly had the potential. Being your authentic self. Every single day showing up for yourself, to better yourself when it comes to your mental health. It wasn't trying to get lost in someone's words because they tried to discourage you. Who would have knew that God allowed you to see why He chose you?
Always be yourself, but don't listen tensions. Don't dim your light, neighbor, neighbor, don't dim your light. No, for real, don't dim your light.
Why get discouraged? Because you stepped on faith when they didn't want to choose themselves because they felt like they was a mistake. They felt it was too late in their life to actually change. But you wanted to grow. Understand elevation is different. Being authentic.
I love myself not to dim my light. I love myself not to dim my light. No, for real, practice makes perfect.
Even when they try to project fear in you and so nobody gonna hear you. Because they gonna make sure they shadow ban you, pay this person, pay that person, discourage you. But when you realize they did that, they wasn't truly for you and that was truly whack. Because the right people, they see you, they hear you, they respect you. Even days when you couldn't see, who would have knew that God was still protecting you? You don't worship the devil good day, bad day, or misunderstanding day. Damn sure your soul wasn't for sale when folks were trying to blackmail you against you, paying you out to be the villain in their story, or because they wanted to make sure that you was mentally unstable. They try to rob you mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially, put you in the psych ward, lock you up, throw the key away. But hold on one second, God said not another day. They're not gonna allow, no. Your heavenly mother, father, it's not going to allow someone to discourage you. Even when they try to get rid of the evidence at the end of the day, when they said that you was the issue. This type of stuff actually happens. Because gang stalking is real. When folks try to discourage you, say you're mentally ill, who would have knew that God allowed you to see every challenge, hold on one second, allow you to go within to realize you're self-reflecting and truly hell. My content is not for everyone. And that's okay. Always be yourself with no malicious intention. I say that respectfully. I'm nice, respecting. I'm far from a hater. We may not pray the same, but I know how to respect my neighbor. When someone tells you don't have potential, regardless to how old you are, never give up on yourself. And then they sit there, be so inspired, but won't put respect in your name. They disrespect you, then as soon as you speak up for yourself, they say that you're mentally unstable, projecting pain. They said that you got mommy and daddy issues, but God fixed your crown. You didn't have to wild out. You was only speaking for yourself when they said that you was mentally unstable. They hacked your devices, gang stalked you, communicating to go with them. They would never understand that God didn't reject you. They said God not real, but hold on one second. God was maintaining you at the end of the day to show you why you came out your comfort zone. Only was the hold on one second. I wasn't going the wrong direction when I chose me. Because you couldn't relate to who I was. Me choosing me. Man's is different. Always be yourself, and I say that respectfully. When someone has to create a hate train towards you, and then when you start to speak up for yourself, they say that you're mentally unstable. Then they're behind the scenes getting this practitioner, your next door neighbor, and different tax brackets, or this person, that terrorist, that karmic, or whatever the case may be. That witch, that warlock, sending you spell work and chaos and confusion in your life to discourage you. Never give up on you. And I say that respectfully. That hobby started with self-love. That energy is different because you fell in love. I don't know what it was when it came in your journey, but never give up on your vision. I say that respectfully. Your intuition. You chose you to truly go within. Everybody picks and chooses a different path. When it comes to hold on one second, they poured that glass. They decide to be the dope boy. They decide to be that psychiatrist. They decide to be that healer, that terrorist, that karmic, or whatever the case may be, that teacher, that practitioner, that doctor, that scientist, someone who knew how to carry the weather, the weatherman or weatherwoman, and be the train of thought for me. Everybody found their own hobby, turned into creativity at the end of the day to understand that this is my career today. Find what makes you feel good and comfortable within. It's a train of thought for me when you truly know how to self-reflect to go within. Living under someone's chaos spell at the end of the day is only going to make you mentally unstable another day. But that reflection going within, God's going to keep it real, showing you that you are worthy to understand balance. However long it's going to take, you choosing yourself not to overlook you. And can't nobody distract God's motion. The energy is different. Even with jealousy and hate and envy, that potential was always within you when when they said that you was the issue. Or because you believed in your faith and it wasn't a mistake.
I love myself not to dim my light. I love myself not to dim my light. No other change over you. What's wrong with people? Why would they want you to dim your light?
How this type of stuff actually happens. My content is not everybody, and I say that respectfully. Gang stalking is real to your household, and you're not doing it for likes and views or clout chasing. You're not. I'm far from a hater. And I would never stop speaking up for myself, regardless of what community it is. You can call me a snitch all day long, but when someone threatens your life that nobody's going to believe you, you're not wrong for speaking up for yourself, and I say that respectfully. Regardless to what someone's job title is and how long they've been on their job at the end of the day. Because if it was you, sir, and someone disrespected your daughter, she has all right to speak up for herself. He has all right to speak up for himself. That young man that you're raising. And especially when you're creating a future for your children, ma'am or sir. You're not teaching your children out here to hurt somebody else's child. You're showing your child at the end of the day they can weather their own storm, but they can do it in a different kind of way without the violence, without sending someone's spell work, without energy harvesting of someone's energy. You know, the normal way, like staying in your lane, but speak up for yourself, and it wasn't pain. It's a train of thought for me. Somebody bullies your child, regardless of how old they are, you want your child to speak up for themselves. Good day, bad day, and misunderstanding. I say that respectfully, and especially when your baby didn't do anything. And folks are saying, no, your child didn't do anything. And your mindset is, as a mother or a father, is you can't always react. Because at the end of the day, you're raising your child to hold their own weight. And I don't mean narcotics. My content is not for everyone, and I say that respectfully. Like when they go to that schoolhouse and they get a little bit more older, someone violates them. They're in college. The professor violates them and disrespects them. They don't have to be physically fighting somebody all the time. They don't gotta always curse somebody out all the time. At some point in time, right, regardless if it's a college student or not, you have to go to the proper people to say, you know what, this is not right. So you mean to tell me that your child was discriminated against, your child was disrespected against, you mean to tell me your baby's a snitch now because that person in authority at the moment, because of their job description, they was able to control the narrative and it was okay for them to say what they said to your child? And you mean to tell me that it's okay for your child just to sit in that classroom and just deal with it for the rest of the semester or the year? It's a train of thought for me. How many classes that child has to keep changing before it change actually happens within that community or within that school, regardless to what's going on with the situation? It's a train of thought for me. How people pick and choose who they want to bully. How people take certain individuals' kindness or weakness. Like that's like this. You help somebody, right? You help somebody. Or you suggest something for somebody, whatever the case may be, or you put something in someone's hand as a courtesy, respect, like, you know what, thank you for helping me. And you didn't have to. For them to turn around at the end of the day to only bully you or to put you in a situation where they say that nobody's going to believe you because they're going to paint you out to be somebody that you're not. Because of the fact that regardless of your household and where you was raised at, you speak a little bit loud, but you're not being aggressive. You're not hurting nobody or yourself. But because of the tone of your voice, they're using it as manipulation. They're using the form of your voice as to, they need to put you in the cyborg. Because the form of your voice, regardless if you're a supervisor or not. It's a train of thought for me. How this type of stuff actually happens to innocent people. Because why? Someone decided because they are able to control the narrative and they say, oh, well, we'll have people go up against you and nobody's going to believe you. Until it's your situation that hits different. This type of stuff happens every single day. Every single day. Someone walked into an environment and was cursed out for no apparent reason. Even if they was using their hands, they wasn't trying to hurt themselves or others around them. And they was 10 feet apart from somebody. They didn't pull no weapon out or in no shape or form. How someone was quick to say, oh, well, this person was the aggressive person within the situation. And they never was. You know, somebody's mother and father just came from the grocery store and they just came from the doctor's office or whatever the case may be, right? Someone had a long day at the doctor's office. Did it have to matter if it was your mother or your father? It was your loved one. They didn't mean to talk with their hands, but they just did it. They didn't mean to. Sometimes you don't realize that you're talking with your hands. But in this case, someone was talking with their hands. And they wasn't being aggressive in no shape or form because the people who wasn't picking sides, but the genuine people that actually saw what transpired, someone wasn't feeling well. And someone was trying to express themselves. And they took that as a form of aggressiveness. And then said that someone was not mentally stable. How this type of stuff actually happens every single day. It's disgusting. They wasn't trying to hurt themselves or others around them. It's people don't even realize that they even talking with their hands half of the time because it becomes the norm. There's supervisors that talk with their hands all the time. But they're not being disrespectful in no shape or form to the consumer. To the consumer or to the tenant or to the environment, let alone the community. Doesn't necessarily have to be a supervisor. No, it doesn't. But this type of stuff happens every single day. How because someone's able to control a narrative, they paint somebody out to be aggressive. Never not one time that someone had to overly raise their voice. They didn't have to do that. They was talking with their inside voice. Regular. It wasn't no arguing or nothing like that. Like, it was none of that. They was using their inside voice. Everybody's pitch is different. It's called respect. And it doesn't matter what environment that you're in, and I say that respectfully. Someone is not trying to hurt you, or others around them, or themselves. Respect's a two-way street. Regardless of someone's culture, religion, sexual orientation, disability, or age. When I first started my creativity, this is how I always was talking. When it comes to these type of topics. Back in the beginning of 2022 until now. I do a little bit of everything when it comes to my creativity. And one thing I'm not going to stop doing is being my authentic self. Because there's somebody today that actually dealt with someone that made them feel less of a person, or someone that triggered them and almost brought them back to where they came from, and they wasn't trying to do that. Because they was able to control the narrative of a conversation. And it doesn't matter if someone's on a job or not, how this type of stuff actually happens. Excuse me, no thank you. 6 feet apart, 10 feet apart. No thank you, that's it. And sometimes people just don't say anything at all. It's not that someone's being rude, but when someone creates a hate train towards somebody, they have all right not to say anything at all. That's like this. Someone created a hate train towards somebody, right? And someone asks for a handshake. I don't know what side you on. You only doing your job, but hold on one second. I don't mean no disrespect. I'm having a conversation with you. I was never rude to you. I didn't have malicious intentions towards you. I acknowledge you as a person. Thank you for helping. No, thank you. Have a good day. Shaking your hand wasn't part of the conversation. You extended your hand. But sometimes when people create a hate train towards individuals, you don't know who you're talking to. You're saying that you're for the community only to turn around and you pick and choose who you want to bully. And that's what makes certain individuals not question themselves, but then say to themselves as, I'm not wrong because I'm far from paranoid. These same people just bullied me, and I'm trying to talk to you and acknowledge them today. Nobody believes me. Because this type of stuff actually happens. And then to come to find out that these individuals that created this hate train towards this innocent person Everybody was part of it, even the person that just gave someone a handshake or tried to. How this type of stuff actually happens. How you go into a store and someone tries to give you a handshake and then you turn around trying to hurt you mentally, physically, emotionally, even spiritually. How this type of stuff actually happens. How someone that you don't even know from a hole in the wall could be walking down the street and then they want to give you a handshake, small talk. They just want to energy harvest off your energy. They want to project spoke towards you because of the fact that, hold on 1 second, who are you? How this type of stuff actually happens. It's not that someone's being rude or disrespectful. This type of stuff actually happens. So reaching out to give someone a handshake, sometimes folks do got good intentions and sometimes folks don't have good intentions. Because when you're giving someone a handshake, sometimes someone could be energy harvesting off your energy with malicious intentions. And then you got some folks that give you a handshake and they're giving you the evil eye. And then they say, oh, I don't mean no harm by it. It's not that you don't mean no harm by it at the end of the day. You had a motive. Some people do have a motive behind it. You'd be so surprised. It don't matter how old someone is, culture, religion, sexual orientation, this will be old age. My content is not for everyone, and I say that respectfully. It's not. This type of stuff happens every single day. Every single day. No mother or father should have to worry about their child getting an evil eye because someone lacks self-control when it comes to discipline. Or their child is part of a hate train because of the fact that you brought a beautiful gift into this world. And not everybody is a mother or a father. And I say that respectfully. Good day, bad day, and misunderstanding day. It's certain individuals that don't actually play the role. They paint a picture that they wear. They paint a picture and wear a mask and act like they're showing up. But there you go. You show up sick days, good days, bad days, and misunderstanding days. But not everybody has the same mindset. It doesn't matter their tax bracket. It doesn't matter how long somebody been on a job site, over 30, 40, 50 years. It doesn't matter. Because that same person that been on that job site for all the many years, you'll be sitting there questioning yourself like, damn. So you mean to tell me you pick and choose who you want to bully? And you're supposed to be part of the community. It's train of thought for me. How this type of stuff actually happens. My content is not for everybody, and I say that respectfully. I'm far from a hater. And I'm not even respect. And I'm not going to stop being myself. Because someone wants to throw spell at me. Someone wants to send me low vibrational frequencies, astral travel to me. People pick and choose who can talk about spirituality. People pick and choose who can talk about God or whatever the case may be. If I'm not talking about narcotics in a toxic way, or drama, hurting innocent people, or whatever the case may be, or going back and forth with words with individuals, I don't face a tax bracket conversation. It's a train of thought for me. When God sends the right people into your life, regardless to what community it is, or relationship it is, they see you, they hear you, they respect you with no malicious intentions, and I say that respectfully. My content is not for everyone. I know how to respect my neighbor. I know how to take accountability for my actions, and I don't run from my past. And I don't run from he say, she say. I said what I said that day, and I can repeat it with no malicious intentions. Nothing added on, nothing sugar-coated, and I say that respectfully. Always be yourself with no malicious intentions. I never understood this. Like, certain folks be like, yo, I want real in my life. But as soon as you get real in your life, at the end of the day, it's like, damn, how you fumble yourself, talking about you keeping it real. Miseducating yourself at the end of the day, didn't understand the definition of keeping it real. Oh, your real is controlling the narrative. That's your real. My content is not for everybody, and gang stalking is real. I never signed up for nobody's contract, and I say that respectfully. Folks behind the scenes trying to humble you, put you in the monster unstable. Fall from that. Fall from a copycat, fall from a hater. Wasn't doing it for clout, likes, and views, and clout chasing fame, and I say that respectfully. Whether in the storm you can relate to, going within, adjust the pain. God was always keeping the real. My heavenly mother, Father God, never moved their hands off the well. The unconditional love hits different. Communicating, going with them. We ain't the same, neighbor. Always be yourself with no malicious intent, and I say that respectfully. My content is not for everyone. It's not. And loving yourself is not a crime. It's not. When someone says that you don't have potential, and they sit there and watch every move so inspired, making $1 off your name at the end of the day when it comes to your creativity. But it's only one you. It's never competition. Never had hate in you. You just knew how to respect you. They couldn't even weather their own storm. They didn't have to do them wrong. They can't wait for your next move. But God shows you truly always the best move. Choosing yourself. Far from mentally stable. Far from mentally unstable. Even when you get lost in your words, they will never understand how God truly allows you to heal. Train of thought for me. How folks want you to be a crash out. They want you to slip up so bad. To be uncomfortable. To paint you out to be somebody you truly not when they hack your devices, gang stalk you right to left. And as soon as you speak up for yourself, they say that you truly the issue, you a snitch, a bitch, or whatever the case may be. You ain't have to get physical. All you have to do is speak up for yourself. Real recognize, real actually respect you with no malicious intentions. They actually understand your point of view. It's train of thought for me. Regardless of keeping poverty and pain. My content is not for everybody, and I say that respectfully. How folks will try to humble you, pay this person, pay that person to antagonize you. As soon as you speak up for yourself, you dead ass wrong. They say that you're mentally wrong. Why don't you just shut up already? Always be yourself, and I say that respectfully. I'm not your genuine respecter. My content is not for everyone. It's not. I don't care who don't believe me or not at the end of the day. And you're in the background doing what you're doing. But that ain't just different because I still didn't lose me. You trying to find strategies to discourage me. Watching my every move like a bad habit, playing with my numbers. Trying to pay me out to be somebody truly not because you don't understand your own issue. Going with that. Looking at me like competition was never part of your issue. And then you sit there and say competition. If it wasn't, you wouldn't try to do everything in your power to fucking discourage me. No, it's a straight off of me. Like those spell work. Right to left. Do beauty magic. Trying to cause chaos when it comes to my mental health. Pay me out to be paranoid when I'm far from that. That elevation is different. You would never understand how I move to the left. I was just in my own lane. God was really allowing me to see that I was truly real. And only was you couldn't keep it real. Energy harvesting off the innocent person's energy. Someone truly had potential. Something that you didn't relate to was gone within it. Believe in your own faith. How you was your own mistake. How you battled your own demons at the end of the day. I still knew how to respect my neighbor even when you couldn't weather your own storm. The take for tech, hold on 1 second, God fixed my crime. I ain't have to react. Always be yourself, and I say that respectfully. Trying to destiny swipe with an innocent person. It be the train of thought for me. How this type of stuff actually happens because someone truly know how to communicate the goal with them, not to reject themselves. He said I'm whacking, I'm a corny, I'm a nobody at the end of the day. But that energy is different when you understand elevation is different. Going with that. Gang stalking is real till it's your household. And you're not doing it for likes and views or cloud chasing. I say that respectfully. Always be yourself with no malicious intentions. I'm Naya, genuine love, respect. And my content is not for everyone. It's not. I hate this lighting. Oh my god, it make my lips look so... My lips not even dark. Or even light like this. It's actually pink. What's going on? It's train of thought for me. As soon as I get out this mirror and go into other mirrors, it's going to show me. Anyway, that's besides the point. Always be yourself. Loving yourself is not a crime, and I say that respectfully. It's going to bother someone's mental health. They trying to figure out how they unwind. They was in the process trying to discover you creating a hate train. Or because you believe that if they come relate to going within, understand even exchange. I love to talk about love. No, I have to check on you. Only be yourself with no malicious. My kind of everybody that's okay.
Love is real, love is one of a kind, with the right one truly for you.
It was you that day. It's a train of thought for me. You gain access to someone's heart only to realize it wasn't supposed to be uncomfortable when it come to pain. Someone showing someone why you maintain and smile. Only the rest of hold on 1 second, you swear up and down, it's deja vu. Only the rest of hold on 1 second, you know how to maintain someone's crown. Walking into someone's life, who would have knew? It felt like a fairy tale. Only realized you were truly keeping it real. Didn't have to wear a mask and mislead someone pain.
Love is real, love is one of a kind, with the right one truly for you.
That balance is different. You was on point when it came to your flow, when it came to your vocabulary that day. You're like, hold on 1 second. Not only do I see a God angel at the end of the day, but I'm very so much thankful God's allowed me to understand this plan. It wasn't mind games. That energy is different because you understood a future that couldn't relate to your past. When you're passing your reality today, you wasn't trying to fumble your future. Because true love wasn't complicated, let alone lust, let alone malicious intentions. That energy is different when it comes to growth. That vocabulary is different when someone walks into your life to be their peace. Who would have knew? Two people on the same page, not abusing each other. To run game. You know, someone walking into your life to be your peace. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and just because moments. True love was never toxic. True love was never malicious intentions. True love was never having a hand problem. Cycle to someone, they free will. The energy is different. You would never be able to understand what they overcame when it come to their past. But having the heart to balance the end of the day, showing somebody why they came out their comfort zone in the most healthiest way when they almost gave up on a love department. Imagine praying for somebody only they became your dream come true person. The energy is different. Someone actually pouring into you type of you. You know, because love is real, love is one of a kind with the right one actually for you. Someone sees you, hears you, respects you. Someone wasn't trying to fumble you, someone truly did protect you, get mental, blood on your heart. It wasn't lust, it was real love. Then you had to play with sport to get your time and day, that type of love.
No, I haven't checked on me. Always be yourself with no malicious intentions.
Being emotionally available, who would have knew? The love of your life, truly showing up for you. You know, someone praying for you. Someone didn't have to manipulate God when they actually said what they meant that day. They wasn't wearing a mask to show you true love. It's real, but the right person truly for you, who allows you to heal. I'm not aging on respect, and when it comes to my creativity, I work alone and I always have, and I say that respectfully. Always be yourself, and I say that respectfully, with no misintentions.
No, I haven't checked on me. Always be yourself with no malicious intentions. I gotta do my hair. Have a good day.
Loving yourself is not a crime. Today is currently July 24th, 2025. Loving yourself is not a crime.
Peace and respect, some respect, some never stop the last bit of the world. Damn your light, go you never, damn your light.
Have a safe year, day, evening, week, weekend, you mighty worthy. No mother or father or loved one should have to lose a loved one because someone lacks self-control or discipline because of the fact that someone decides to move on with their life. A mother and father or loved one should not have to lose a loved one because someone tries to rob somebody mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially, and I say that respectfully. You are worthy of your loved one, seen another day, and not losing it to the hands of someone that doesn't understand the goal within, understand change and growth, not picking and choosing when they want to bully. Because I got their free will when it comes to hate crime, and I say that respectfully. You know, my content is not for everybody. You know, someone that says they truly at peace, they don't have the mindset of trying to find different tools on to how to psych some of their free will. They don't have that mindset. When you at peace with yourself, you move on with your life and keep it pushing. Regardless if you know somebody or not at the end of the day, you don't have the mindset of trying to figure out how you're going to create a hate train towards somebody, something like free will, their mental health, or whatever the case may be. You don't have that mindset. And especially when someone is not bothering you. And then when someone speaks up for themselves, the first thing you want to say is they a snitch. It's a train of thought for me. Because until it's your household, that energy is different. You fall from weak, speaking up for yourself, got you truly sick, going within, don't even know how to heal. Don't even know if you coming or going. Everybody's time and change with growth hits different. Everybody's walk of life, it is said when it comes to their path, understand their reflection, understand their existence, truly paying attention. One thing I don't do is run from my past. And anybody from my past is not in my future. And I say that respectfully. My content is not for everyone. And when someone threatens your life that nobody's going to believe you, no, you're not wrong for speaking up for yourself when someone says they're going to have a whole community of people or different people in different tax brackets go up against you. When you was never doing it for likes and views or clout chasing or fame. I don't worship the devil. Good day, bad day, or misunderstanding. And I say that respectfully. I don't gang stalk people. I don't blackmail people. I don't. I don't send spell work towards people. I don't interrupt those people energies. I don't have people devices. And when it comes to my creativity, I work alone. And when it comes to destiny swiping, I don't play that. I got my own authenticity. I got my own anointings when it comes to my favor. That blueprint that God endured within me, being authentic, original, fall from a copycat, fall from a hater. When he said I was mentally ill, always be yourself. And I say that respectfully. When God sends the right people into your life, they see you, they hear you, they respect you with no malicious intention. I say that respectfully. You ain't stalking this real to your household, and you're not doing it for likes and music cloud chasing. I say that respectfully. Always be yourself with no malicious intentions. I'm not here to no respect, and I'm far from a hater. When it comes to my creativity, I get it from my Heavenly Mother, my Heavenly Father, God, and I say that respectfully. God was never for sale, let alone likes and music cloud chasing no fame. Always be yourself with no malicious intentions. We ain't the same. I ain't got hate in my vein. I know how to respect my neighbor when they came with their own storm. And when God's direct people to your life, they don't look at you like competition. They don't create a hate train. They ain't trying to blackmail you against you. They ain't got malicious intentions when it comes to elevation. They acting their body weight on their shoe size. The energy is different. They ain't have to tell a lie when they actually acknowledge you that day. That you matter, you're worthy, cheering you on. Because they ain't have malicious intentions to do you wrong.
Peace and respect, your neighbor, slaughter much. Many rather know them, you like go, you neighbor, never know them, you like, we gotta go!
Always be yourself with no malicious intentions. I'm not here to you respect. Always be yourself, and I say it respectfully. And especially when folks got to create a hate train towards you, it tells a lot about them. And especially when you speak up for yourself, you never have malicious intentions. That's what happens when folks are able to control a narrative. They always gonna paint you out to be somebody you're truly not. I don't live in fear, and I would never hurt myself. Good day, bad day, and misunderstanding. I say it respectfully. You know, gang stalking is real. Someone's behind the screen right now, controlling the background, and they're trying to paint me out to be mentally ill. I would never hurt myself, and I say that respectfully. Gang stalking is real to your household. Always be yourself, and I say that respectfully. My content is not for everyone. You matter, you're worthy. Now you know respect.